there, all you wonderful people. This is Andre, the Game Idea Guy. Thank you very much for lending me your time and your ear and listening into another video from me. In this one, I kind of want to touch on the rumor about the NX having cartridges. Now, to me, this is a good thing, and I know that there are a lot of people that just don't like this idea whatsoever. But when I want to question those people, when I ask and I see other people ask questions about why people think that going back to a cartridge based format for a console is a bad idea, typically what I see or hear is, oh, it's bullshit, it's stupid, it's antiquated, it's the inferior storage format. And to those people, I would say that you are completely and utterly wrong. Sad to say that I have to say it in that way, but you're wrong. And I can explain why you're wrong. Firstly, at this point in time, cartridge technology, which flash cartridges, SD cards, it's not that expensive to make them now. Secondly, Nintendo has been supporting a cartridge format on their handhelds forever. They have never moved away from cartridge on their handhelds, and there's a specific reason as to why they haven't. One, it's far more efficient to use cartridges. Two, it saps far less power. That's also why Sony went from using the UMD disc on the PSP to using a cartridge format for the Vita. It's far less power consuming that way. And it's also safer. Cartridges are in fact more durable than disc. Disc can scratch completely easily. You could drop a disc on a carpet, and I've seen this happen before, and it can get scratched up. You could drop a cartridge on a hardwood floor, and it will be fine and play perfectly as long as nobody smashes it. On top of that, the cost for Blu-ray or HD DVD technology to be able to utilize that and to add the extra layers onto those discs, that costs a lot of money to do. And I'll even put it into this perspective. Currently, and that's I think is as of August 5th of 2015, which is last year, Ultra Blu-ray DVDs, Ultra HD Blu-ray DVD disc hold up to 66 gigabytes for dual layer and 100 gigabytes of data for triple layer. You want to know how much space SD cards have up to this point? An SD card, like at least as far as the one that SanDisk themselves have officially released, an SDXC card holds up to 512 gigabytes of data. And micro SD cards, the biggest I've seen for those is 256 gigabytes of data. That trumps the disk format completely. Completely trumps it. Heck, even the not SD cards, even 3DS game carts, they store up to about the same amount of data as a dual layer DVD. I think it's 8.5 gigs that they store. Dual layer DVDs, I think, can hold like somewhere around 9 gigs, a little bit over 9 gigs. Don't quote me on that. I don't know for sure. I'm not looking at the number right now, but it's not really a big jump. It really is not a big jump. So, like, it's to say that it's stupid and it'll cost a lot of money. People know. Hell, you can get. I'm looking at it right now on Google. I'm looking at an ad that shows me a 256 gigabyte micro SD class 10 memory card. And this one actually comes with a bonus 64 gigabyte micro SD for $70. So that bonus micro SD is probably 15-20 bucks of that cost. I'm I'm just I'm just thinking, people. Look. If Nintendo were to, and I think another reason is people were looking at how the 64 was, and they're looking at ROM based cartridges rather than a flash-based storage. Here's a few other positives of having a cartridge-based technology as the format for their software. It negates the need to install completely because it'll just run right off the cartridge. It's running as if it's the internal memory from the console itself. The same way that the 3DS games run. It'll run basically as if it is the game on the internal storage of the device. Secondly, they could literally come out and their carts could hold up to maybe 100 gigabytes of data. And they don't have to go beyond that because it's not like PS4 and Xbox One disc are going that high. I think they're maxing out at like 50 gigs of data per disc if going with dual layer. They don't have to forcibly install anything. They're durable, they're safe, they're quicker to read, they load much faster. Where's the negative of moving from cartridges to moving from disc to possibly cartridge? The only problem I can think of is that it might cost more in the onset for them to be made, and they might cost a slight bit more at the beginning. But if it's used enough and it becomes widespread enough, it will be cheaper. It will be far cheaper. And Nintendo would do a slightly customized format, even if they went with an SD flash type of cartridge. They would definitely have their own customized styled format for that, which could again make it slightly more expensive. But the positives to it are plentiful. Heck, even at this point, you wouldn't even need the console to have its own hard drive or flash storage on it because the cartridges could do that themselves. It would literally be a game and a memory card. Obviously, there would be some sort of onboard storage. I don't know if it would be a hard drive or maybe just like an expanded flash storage. Honestly, they wouldn't need a whole lot if they did that, which could potentially keep the cost of home platform down because they don't have to have proprietary memory on it. These are things that I think about that I'm wondering if other people think about. And I think for the most part that they don't. They don't think about these things. They just, because it's something different or possibly different, they automatically hate it without thinking about the positives and the negatives of this. And to me, like, that's stupid. That's completely stupid because it's slightly different from what you're used to or what you know of. It's automatically stupid. What if people said that back when compact discs were the superior format? Like, oh, that's stupid. We shouldn't switch disc at all. We shouldn't play games on disc. At the time, it was better. It was definitely far better. Like, that would mean that PlayStation wouldn't have had games that as big as it did. That would mean Sega Saturn didn't have games as big as it did. Dreamcast wouldn't have had games as big as they did. GameCube, PS2, Xbox, they wouldn't have had games as big as they were. They wouldn't have had games that, well, they probably could have had games as big as they were, but they definitely wouldn't have been able to. I'm trying to find the best words for this. They wouldn't have had enough storage on one piece of hardware to be able to give you a complete game. Games would have to be broken up into several cartridges back then because that was a ROM-based format. And that wouldn't have worked for the time. Now it would work because cartridge technology has basically been refined heavily. And I don't get how people automatically want to just throw it out the window because it's slightly different. Like, how the hell do you enjoy food? Like, if you never try food outside of what you're comfortable with, how do you learn if you like new stuff? How? If you're a person who's never watched a baseball game, and someone offered up to you the opportunity to go with them to watch a baseball game, you don't automatically turn it down because you've never seen baseball? You wouldn't even you wouldn't even entertain the thought of just seeing it and experiencing it for the first time? That's stupid. That's dumb as hell. Man, I swear people are just far too finicky for the dumbest of reasons. Look, I'm not trying to put anyone down, but I think I've made it pretty clear with this video. Use your mind, think about things before you immediately dismiss them. And I'm a quick thinker. And I kept seeing people say this about these rumors, like, this would be something good for you, but you automatically want to stomp it down into the ground because it's slightly different. This isn't like having a console forcibly be online for you to play a single player game. No, this is not like that. And with this could also negate the need for that for any of these companies. This could literally negate the need for that. Because everything would be on the fucking cartridge. You wouldn't need to do a check-in in order to play your goddamn games. Because they would be right there. And if it's a proprietary format, it could be safer. It'd be harder to crack. Especially with the way Nintendo likes to fuck with their code and shit. uh, people make my head hurt. They make my brain want to jump out my skull and go dive into a toilet and flush itself. That was really descriptive in a weird way. But I'm done. I'm done. There's nothing else I can really say at this point. I've said enough. I've expelled enough of my thoughts on the matter. I would think it's a good thing. I would love if they went to a cartridge format. I'd have like little neat 3DS size cases for my home console games, and I could keep them all nice and organized, and I'd have far more space to utilize because the cases would be smaller. Shit, there's a lot of positives to this because I would definitely be getting them a lot of physical games. And again, Nintendo's compression methods. This is a win-win. This is a super win-win if they did this. But again, people look for the stupidest of reasons to say, "Oh, I don't want to try that." Yeah, I'm finished. Thank you guys very much for listening. Keep your eyes and ears up for more of my stuff. And until the next time, please enjoy your games. Peace out.